All right, let me be clear. Mayor Johnson, Governor Pritzker, they're failing the people of Chicago, and their lives are not safe and secure. Violent crime is out of control across the city and the state. Again, 8 people dead. They should be alive. 58 people shot. They shouldn't be in a hospital. These were preventable. But instead, 8 funerals are now being planned while dozens more are dealing with gunshot wounds. And still, the state's liberal politicians are so blinded by rage for President Trump, they're refusing to keep their own residents safe. Our very own Nicole Parker was in Chicago today, speaking to the people in that city. Let's see what they had to say.
What do you think about President Trump? He's offered to provide assistance to help make Chicago safe, to bring in potential National Guard, potential, federal law enforcement officers and agencies to give help to Chicago. How do you feel about getting help to make your city safe?
Help is needed.
How do you feel? Do you think that protecting and making Chicago safe, should that be a political issue?
I think Chicago can take all the help we need. So if it turns into a political issue, then tomato, tomato. If it works for the environment, for the safety of, the people, then I'm with it. Yeah.
National Guard coming here is not going to stop anything.
I think it's a good idea. Because, look, we need more. I mean, what's wrong with more help?
Right.
Let me explain something. When you step outside your apartment or your house, you're in a war zone. You don't have to be in Iraq and Afghanistan. And if you think I'm lying, let's check out the news every day.
He's only going to Chicago and every state that is a Democratic state. Tell me why.
But you think that President Trump could step in and help?
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, I don't see no harm in that.
Nicole Parker's with us now. All right, so you spoke to the people in Chicago. I find it hard to believe that you can predict on any given weekend how many people will be shot. You can predict on any given weekend how many people will be shot and killed. I'm surprised it's not a 100% issue, to be honest. What were they telling you today?
Well, I was in the south side of Chicago, and I can tell you that the vast majority of them, initially it was automatic. Hey, you know what? I just don't think that this should be a political issue. I don't want President Trump coming in here. But then when we got into actually what that would look like for their city, the one commonality across every person that I spoke to, Sean, they admit that crime is completely out of control, and they are sick and tired of the crisis in their city, and they want to be able to walk around and be free and not be concerned about getting shot and getting killed and just the devastation that it's causing over and over. And also they admit that their mayor and their governor have failed them. They are not satisfied with what is happening. They do not believe that they will create the solutions necessary. And so in further discussions, almost every single person came around and said, you know what, you're right. This really isn't about politics. And if Trump can help us, let's allow them to come in. We need all the help that we can get because we are not in a good spot right now. And so it was very interesting to see how when you take the politics out of it, this is not about politics. This is about keeping everyone safe, keeping everyone alive. And there was one particular resident that I spoke to, Sean, he spoke about how he actually had to protect children himself from live gunfire and from flying bullets. And this is what he said.
Being that we're over here, right, in the hood, right, you see all these people walking through here, right? I've been here when actual bullets get to shooting, right? There was a bullet that went right in there, a bullet over there, and I had to grab a kid and hold him down, right? And just to cover him to make sure that he wasn't, hit by the bullets. So it's not about who's right or who's wrong, but it is about saving, these youth at this point.
And that's exactly what it's about, Sean. I mean, I was walking through these neighborhoods and seeing these young children. I mean, they are victims of crime. No one deserves this, let alone young children who have no defense. And this man is literally having to protect them with his own body because you know what? They're not doing the job that they should be doing. The politicians are not doing the job. They're not allowing law enforcement. They need help. And at the end of this day, I felt better knowing Chicago knows that they need help. They will do whatever they need to do to take the assistance from President Trump. There were a few outliers there, but again, they just want to be safe.
Look at what happened to our friend and colleague, Gianna Caldwell's brother, and he was killed. With your background in law enforcement, it seems to me to be common sense. And that is you put more boots on the ground, you have more law enforcement, you have a greater presence. Rudy Giuliani was able to change New York City in a dramatic way. And he did it with stop and frisk. He did it with a police presence. He increased the force numbers to over 40,000. They're down about 10,000 from that number today. The more people more on the job, the more likely people are safe and secure. It's common sense. It's simple math to me. Your last word.
You're exactly right. I agree. You infiltrate that city. You put law enforcement in there, all hands on deck. And again, I was a resident of New York City. I saw what Giuliani did. I felt safe walking around at, 2 o'clock in the morning in Times Square. You could not do that in New York. You could definitely not do anything of the sort in Chicago. But again, more law enforcement, common sense. Take all the help that you can get. If they were doing a good job, they wouldn't have this problem. But I really think it's their pride and their ego and their just disdain for Trump that they cannot accept assistance, when in reality, that's what the citizens and community want, and that's what they need. They want to live their lives freely and not be in fear of getting shot and killed. And again, my heart goes out to Gianno Caldwell, whose brother Christian was killed by violence here in Chicago, and that case still has not been solved. Law enforcement, you've got to step it up, and these politicians, your number one priority is to protect your citizens and not to play political games.
Nicole, thank you for that report. I thought all lives matter. Apparently, they're not mattering to some politicians. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.